Hi guys, thanks for stopping by. I am the Unfrumpy Mommy, and today I wanted to come to you to share my thoughts on being both a stay-at-home mom and a homeschooling mom. Just back from the doctor's office, and this has been a doctor that I've been seeing for a little over 6 years now, but without fail, every time I go, the questions are always, oh my gosh, how are you a stay-at-home mom? How are you a homeschooling mom? How do you do that? Do you like that? So I wanted to come today to kind of share my thoughts on apparently the whole phenomenon of being a stay-at-home mom as well as a homeschooling mom. I start out as a stay-at-home mom. I'm actually a former teacher. I have a master's degree in education, and I was an elementary school teacher for roughly just a little bit over 10 years. I've been a homeschooling mom slash stay-at-home mom since my son was a baby. I think I stopped working just around the time he was about nine months. So the reason I decided to become a homeschooling mom or stay-at-home mom is because, again, as an elementary school teacher, I was having to get up at 6:30 in the morning and drive to work, and then when I would return home, it would be somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock when you factor in the meetings that teachers, would typically have to stay for. And at around that 9-month mark, like I said, I just started beginning to miss my home life. I started missing my husband, started missing my son. For those of you who do not know, my husband works from home. So during the summer, when teachers would typically have their breaks off, it would be my son, my husband, and I at home. However, August rolls around and it's time to head back to school. So I was just tired of it, tired of the rat race, tired of all the headaches with all the things that teachers have to go through. So we just made the decision that I would stay home. So when people ask me, how do I like being a stay-at-home mom or homeschooling mom? I love it, but I will say this is not for everyone. I have the education background, so I am in a position to homeschool my son. My husband is an engineer, so he's very versed in math and in science, so he actually helps with that portion of my son's homeschooling. So for us, it is a perfect fit, but not for everyone. The exception with homeschooling or homeschooling your own child is that you have to have some education background. You have to have been a teacher. You have to have a degree in education, and that is so not true. All you have to do to homeschool your child is have the very basic GED. That is it. Depending on your state, you don't even have to send in your child's work that you do with your child. You don't have to, in some states now, you don't even have to send in your reporting forms. Case in point, here in Georgia, just the past 2 years, we now have the option of not sending in the reporting forms. You simply go online and fill out your intent to homeschool your child, and that is it. That is all that they require. So homeschooling your child comes with its, I would say, highs and lows. There are some unique challenges that come with homeschooling. For one, as a parent, you think your child is just Einstein. You think they are just a genius. And so when you put the work out in front of them and then they don't get the concept, it's like, oh, come on. I just knew you knew that. Also, my son's in 6th grade now. That math, it's starting to look kind of funny. You're starting to see a bunch of numbers now. So he's doing, among other things in math, we're visiting long division, dividing 3 numbers by 2 and 3 numbers. And so, my husband and I had to go back and kind of, relearn this stuff. Once you learn certain concepts in math, I will say that you do not forget them. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. You just kind of get out there and brush up on it. But, we did pick it back up. Now it's nothing, but there are some areas that you're going to have to go back and make yourself more familiar with. So I would say those are just a couple of the challenges that we're facing right now as homeschooling parents. So the nurses today wanted to know, as well as some of my other friends, a lot of my friends, I will say, are stay-at-home moms. I do have a few who choose to work outside the home. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, how did you guys go from 2 incomes? My husband's an engineer, I was a teacher. That was a nice salary coming into the household every month. So people want to know, how is it that you guys were able to go from 2 incomes to 1 income? And I'll say in the beginning, we did have to kind of, you know, cut back on things, but it didn't take long for us to kind of adjust to it. In the beginning, you know, we love to travel. If you visit my Instagram, you'll see that we like to vacation a lot. So in the beginning, we cut back just a little bit on the travel, and I didn't get all of the, you know, I love nice bags, you know, the Gucci bags and the Louis Vuitton. We kind of cut that out just a little bit, but it didn't take long for us to kind of get back into the swing of things. I will say that being able to be a stay-at-home mom and to homeschool your children is going to depend a lot on the choices that you make early on in life. We chose careers that, you know, the salary was pretty good. They were professions that paid really well. And so the income, you know, it wasn't really a big factor. Like I said, in the beginning, it took some adjusting, but after a while, it was just, we didn't really miss the second income. So another question that we get asked pretty often is, how does my son enjoy homeschooling? How does he make friends? And we just have the one son, for those of you who do not know, and I have to say, for the most part, he really enjoys it. There are a lot of perks to being homeschooled. One, I think that we all love as a family is the fact that we get to travel and go on vacation off season, meaning when everyone else is in the parks or on vacation on the beach or wherever, all crowded and huddled together, we're home packing for when you guys have to go back to work and go back to school. So we love that. We get to have those vacation places that we love to travel to almost to ourselves. As far as him having interaction with other kids, he's in tennis. He's in computer classes, and there are different homeschool groups that are available to you. We are members of a couple of homeschool groups here, and he's able to get out and hang out with friends that way. Also, as far as the schedule goes, if I said that he's up at 6:30 like some of these other kids are having to do to get ready for school, if I said he was doing that, I would completely be lying. We don't do that. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have to get up at 6:30. I'm not getting up at 6:30. I'm not going to anybody's job. So we're up roughly 7:30, 8 o'clock, maybe some days even 9 o'clock, starting our day. We're not starting any sooner than that because, again, why would we? I feel that the kids are really having to go to school too early now anyway. 6:30, but they're supposed to go to school and function? Absolutely not. So the perks of being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling our son are that we can kind of get an extra hour or two of sleep, and we are really enjoying that. So to answer the question, guys, is my son enjoying the homeschool lifestyle? Yes, he absolutely is. I would say yes. One issue that I have with the image of stay-at-home moms and homeschooling families is that I think it's a bit antiquated. I think if you look up homeschooling mom or homeschooling family in the dictionary, you have something that's not, I think, in line with what it actually is today. It's not the June Cleaver stay-at-home mom. It's not, you know, a bunch of tree-hugging families running around the house bare feet, you know, picking daisies. No, it's not like that. We're homeschooling parents, homeschoolers. We're very diverse now. A lot of my friends are from different ethnic backgrounds, different ethnicities, and so it's just different now. I think the picture that was placed upon the traditional stay-at-home mom now has just changed dramatically. So I also want to address the notion that stay-at-home moms just have this, they just have it so easy. No, I don't. I have challenges that are indigenous to being a stay-at-home mom, and those are things that I have to deal with on the day-to-day. Now, am I getting up at 6:30 in the morning, commuting to work, sitting in rush hour traffic? No, I do not, and I sympathize with the moms that have to do that. So kudos, my hat's off to you for doing that, however that once was my life. I also want to say that having a partner who's willing to help you out. I have a lot of friends whose husbands go to work. They work inside the home as a stay-at-home mom, and the husbands don't help out at all, won't lift a finger, because they say, I've given you this life, you stay home, that's your job. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to hear about the problems your day that you've had when I'm home from work. Well, I appreciate the fact that my husband helps me out 100%. He helps with the homeschooling. Like I said earlier, he does the math and the science and geography with my son, and I handle the other things. My husband's not afraid to load the dishwasher or put clothes in the dryer. So it really helps when you're a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home homeschooling mom, to have a partner who is willing to help out. So in that aspect, I guess, you know, life is a little bit easier for me, but you you meet the right guy and you're just blessed. So I really feel that I'm blessed, and I'm not going to make any apologies. Hang out with homeschooling moms. All right, so I do hang out with homeschooling moms a lot, but I also hang out with moms who work outside the home. Places that I meet friends, again, the homeschooling groups that we frequent, working out, going to the gym. I've made a lot of friends that way. Social media. I want to say a big hello to my Atlanta Disney divas. Hi Cassie. Hi Elantris. Hi Jovan. So I met those ladies on Instagram. We love Disney, and so we kind of linked up on Instagram, and we've been going out to brunch and just, you know, had a couple of dinners. So so yeah, social media has been a really big part in my social life. I will say though, I love my husband, I love my son so much. We do really do a lot of things together, so I don't hang out a whole lot, but on the times that I do, again, going to the gym, other homeschooling events, other homeschooling parents, and so the question I get is, where do you get your resources from to homeschool? Do you order a kit? Do you go and get the resources from school? How do you do that? Well, the internet is just a blessing to homeschooling parents. You, whatever it is you need, you can find it on the internet. You can come up with the schoolwork for your student or your child yourself. Having an education background, I will say that it is a little bit easier for me to come up with the resources because I have the background. Where do we get his books? Amazon.com has been a godsend. We get his books, the same books that they use in school, the textbooks that your sixth grader is using. We have ordered the same textbooks for my son. And they range from $50 to $300. You just kind of have to get on Amazon and kind of look around. So the internet is where we get really most of our resources. You don't have to purchase a kit. You can subscribe to some of these other different organizations, homeschooling organizations, and kind of jump on board with their curriculum, but we choose to come up with our own thing. The state doesn't tell you what curriculum your child or program your child has to follow, as long as they are following some type of curriculum. I could just go back and revisit the reason we didn't put our son in school. So we had him in school for about 1 week, 5 days actually, and I was up there all 5 days, and I just didn't see anything going on in his classroom that was going to prepare him not only for life but for the next grade level. And this was first grade, but I just have such high expectations for my son, and to see that this teacher wasn't really working on those skills that I think he should have been working on, I said, no way. It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time and energy for us to get up and drive up here every day to put up with this crap. So I said, I have the education background. Honestly, I don't think there's a better teacher out there than me for my son. So we decided to pull him out. So I'm not necessarily 100% against the public school education system. However, once my son does decide that he wants to go off and attend school, it won't be public school. We're looking at a couple of private schools right now actually for him. But if you live in an area where you have great public schools and you think that your children could benefit from it, by all means, please place them there. Public versus private, like homeschooling, stay-at-home moms versus parents who work outside of the home. It's just, It's going to be an individualized decision. This is going to be something that the parents are going to have to decide for themselves, that public school is a fit for my family or private school is a fit for my family. For us, it's going to absolutely be a private school education. So as it relates to testing, in the state of Georgia, you do not have to send in every test that your child takes. Everything that you give your child, you're not required to send that in to the state. However, after 3rd grade, you are required to administer to your child some type of standardized test. ITBS, CRCT, whatever you just decide to administer to your child, you're required to do that after 3rd grade. Do you have to send those test scores into the district or to the state? No, you do not. You keep those for your own record, and then every year after 3rd grade, you give your child some type of standardized test, and you keep those records for yourself. So it's not a whole lot of paperwork. It does help if you're going to be a homeschooling parent to be organized. We do keep records of all of his work. When he completes an assignment, we keep it. We have files and files and files of his schoolwork dating from kindergarten, actually. So we just keep those for our own edification. But should you choose to not keep all of that, that's completely up to you. But again, it depends on your state, so I would definitely check the regulations that are handed out by your state as it relates to homeschool. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video and my tips on being a stay-at-home mom, being a homeschooling mom. I hope that you found it helpful. And so, until next time, ladies, don't be a frumpy mommy. Bye, ladies.